Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is another tropical update. I was going to make this video earlier, but my device was dead. Tip of advice, make sure your device is charging overnight. Anyway, moving on. We do see that the National Hurricane Center pulled up. I'm only going to be focusing on the Atlantic today because that's where most of the potential upcoming activity is going to be. And it's been most consistent in the models. There's been other basins, like I've showed the Western Pacific, but they are not as consistent, and then we're getting less consistent. And I'm not even sure if that was consistent enough to be covering. So today, I'm only going to be focusing on my main basin, which is the Atlantic. And I know most of my viewers also take a good look at this basin. Anyway, moving on, let's get started. So we see where the National Hurricane Center pulled up, and we do see we have an area of interest. And this will become an invest when that X gets into a circle, the yellow circle you see there, if it does not die before it gets there. So there is a 20% chance of formation in the next 5 days, 0% chance in the next 48 hours. And it's going to move west-northwestward at 15 miles an hour across the eastern and central Atlantic for the next several days, and there's some slow development that will be possible. Models are mainly killing this. Now, if you've seen in previous videos that you see another system being shown that's like really big and shown impacting land, that is a system that comes out 3 to 4 days after this one, which that's what's going to make the bulk of this video, because as this is being killed in the models, though the potential is still there. And like I said, guys, today, since the main stuff and the most consistent stuff by far is happening in the Atlantic, this video is only going to be talking about the Atlantic, which is what I usually do in tropical updates anyway. Usually I don't cover multiple basins. But anyway, we do see on week 2, August 24th to August 30th, we do see a moderate chance of formation with above average precipitation. And models have been showing it hitting land more and more consistently. In fact, ensembles don't have that much support anymore for this going out to sea. Like, it was showing it going out to sea mainly a couple days ago, like a week ago. And then as we're getting closer, it's been more and more to hitting land, and it was like 50-50. But now most of the ensembles and pretty much all of the models that are showing this are showing it affecting land. Either if it hits land or not, it has the chance to be strong, a strong system, whether it hits land or not. But the chances are definitely higher for it increasing, for it hitting land than it not hitting land. Like the chances are going up for a land impact, and currently they're higher than it not hitting land. Anyway, above average precipitation is likely in the Caribbean. Moderate chance, actually not likely, sorry about that, but moderate confidence. And we see the potential system here. That is the big system that I will be covering in a bit. Also, sorry for that long explanation a bit ago. But anyway, the CDAS Nino 3.4 index shows that it is going down again. It was going up a very little bit, but then it is going down again. It is now negative 0.962. Sorry about that. But it will continue to go down likely, and we will see what happens. It's lower than it was in May, as you can see on the left of your screen compared to the right of your screen. So yeah. Sea surface temperatures, we have 31 degrees near the Florida Keys, 30 degrees for most of the Gulf and near the Bahamas and Cuba, 29 degrees for most of the Caribbean, and a lot of the southeast coast has 29 and some 30 degrees. Much of the main development region has 28 and 29 degrees, some 27 degrees, but that is favorable for tropical development. Let's start to look at the models. Let's quickly go to the tropical Atlantic. And by the way, in previous videos, I wasn't showing the wind and gusts, which will be 850 MB wind parameters, and I wasn't showing sustained winds or the 10 M parameters, and I wasn't showing rainfall parameters, because back then I was uncertain on where this was going to hit, or if it was going to hit land at all. But now, I think I'm pretty confident that if this happens, it will hit land. and the track is starting to like be more consistent. Again, take everything with a grain of salt, and we are still very uncertain about this, but we are definitely getting more certain. But again, this might not even happen. Just take this with a grain of salt. So we do see this 1010 millibar low pressure area is off the Cabo Verde Islands. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but anyway, that is the area of interest, and it is expected to die. And then we see something coming off of Africa in around 84 hours. So it keeps moving, and then it gradually intensifies to 990, and then it weakens and strengthens to 985, and then it keeps strengthening, and then let's quickly switch to the Western Pacific region here. We do see that we're now in the 960s, 957, as this is heading towards the Leeward Islands again. Take this with a grain of salt, but it keeps going that way. We're around September 3rd here. Goes down to 948. Now, the last run was showing much more land interaction, but it was still showing it strong. But this run is definitely showing it stronger. It goes through Haiti, and then it's 959 again as it passes here around Cuba and the Yucatan. Let's go back to the tropical Atlantic, and let's go to around hour 78. We're going to look at the 10M sustained winds. 10M is sustained winds. In this video, 10M will be sustained winds, and the 850 MB winds will be wind gusts, both in knots. But we do see we are seeing around 34 knots, so tropical storm force winds in around 6 days. We keep going, and then eventually we do start to see that 967 hurricane force winds. So we start to see the hurricane force winds around 985, around hour 228 in this run. And then as we keep going, let's quickly switch to the Western Atlantic. We do see it hits the Leeward Islands at around 64 to 96 knots. I would say more towards 96 to 110 knots. It's very dark, so you can't really tell. That's what this website tends to do. Hopefully that will be fixed. Anyway, it heads towards Haiti, and it hits at around 951 millibars. It goes through Cuba, south of Cuba, still giving it some impacts, and then we see it back to 959. If we look at the 850 MB, so wind gusts here, we are seeing some tropical storm force wind gusts. And then as we keep going, we're starting to see those higher 50, 60 knot wind gusts. Here we're actually starting to see the hurricane force wind gusts. And here we're starting to see the major hurricane wind gusts. Again, take this with a grain of salt. We don't even know if this is going to happen, but I'm showing you what the current model run is showing. As we keep going, we still are getting major hurricane wind gusts. Much of here, that would be very bad impacts, of course. But again, this is far up. Well, of course, this is very bad impacts if this were to happen. Lots, very bad wind gusts. And then it does slam into Haiti. Of course, the models usually overdo the land friction. But anyway, it keeps moving with a very big wind field. And then it starts to move into the Gulf at the end of the run. And we are now going to go to 24-hour accumulated precipitation. I'm not going to do total precipitation accumulated because far out, that's not good because there's going to be a lot of rain that comes before that, but we will just add it up. So we do see the system coming, and we're seeing around up to 12, 10, maybe 9 inches every day here. And that would maybe add up to maybe 18 inches in this run. Here, that would add up to maybe around 30 inches, which of course is bad. Lots of flooding, heavy rain. And then a little less rain, but it's strengthening again, and it starts to move into the Gulf. Next, let's look at the simulated IR satellite for the GFS model. By the way, if you all were wondering why I am not showing the European model, I will show you. They are not fully loaded yet, and Zero-Z does not give it too much support. And it doesn't go out far enough yet. Neither does the Canadian, so that is why I'm not showing it. So, But in another video, if I can, I will show them. But anyway, we see the simulated IR satellite. So we do see the system right here. And it's starting to get its circulation together. And then we see it start to form an eye around hour 264. And it's looking pretty terrifying right here. In fact, I'm going to see if we can get a closer region. Southwest Atlantic, that's perfect. So we do see the system right here moving north. Then after it goes through Haiti and Cuba, it starts to get its circulation back together. Next, we're going to look at the GEFS and the EPS ensembles. So we see nothing. We see some ensembles showing the current area of interest surviving, but not much. Then we see all the ensembles that show the system after, and most of them are on a consistent track. And then as you get farther out, of course, they get less consistent. But we see that many of them show it hitting land. We see Florida, Cuba, the Caribbean. Definitely more consistent in hitting land and more consistent on a track. Whether this hits land or not, it has the potential to be strong. And either way, I will forecast and track it for you guys. But definitely the chance for it hitting land and having impacts is definitely getting greater. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be tonight or tomorrow. Bye, guys.